Focus remains the twin terror attacks in Jammu and Kashmir. News is coming in of how, at least in Chamliyal sector, the encounter is over and now combing operations still continue. Whereas in the other one, where a military installation has been attacked in Nagrota, the situation still continues to be volatile with the firing that continues. In news that's coming since early this morning from Nagrota, 2 of our soldiers have been injured. 1 terrorist has been neutralized. Meanwhile, in the other area of Chamliyal, reports came in that there were at least 2 to 3 terrorists. Confirmation on that number yet to come out, but we do know that the operation, at least there, is over and combing operations still continue where Chamliyal along the international border is concerned. Let's go across to Commodore G.J. Singh as well as General G.D. Bakshi joining us this morning with their perspectives on the situation as they unfold. Good morning, gentlemen. I'll begin with General G.D. Bakshi first. Sir, what's your view in account of how Sartaj Aziz is to make a visit to India very soon? Pakistan has a new army chief as well in Bajwa. General Bakshi, we're looking at 2 such terror attacks that have come in Jammu and Kashmir this morning. General Bakshi, is my audio going through? Can you hear me, sir?
We have
yes, go ahead. Go ahead.
The new army chief who takes over today.
Yeah.
And audio going through? Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Yes. There was a lot of speculation. Yes. Hello.
Yes. Go ahead, sir.
There were a lot of speculation that General Bajwa, who is to take over today, with his coming, there will be a sea change possibly in Pakistan's attitude because he's, because he had served under General Vikram Singh,
that's right,
our former chief, in the United Nations. I think that was childish prattle. The fact is, the Pakistan army has institutionalized hostility against India as its raison d'etre. I mean, without that hostility, that military cannot hold center stage in Pakistan.
Absolutely.
And it will. You see, the fact of the matter is that it will. Hello.
All right, General Bakshi, I'll just come back to you. There seems to be a little glitch there with the audio line. We'll connect with you in just a couple of moments. Commodore G.J. Singh, coming back to you as well. Before that, a quick input as my colleague is sending us some ground reports.
Encounter site, and we'll try to show you this is the area where encounter is going on. You can see the troops and the security forces are moving towards that encounter site because there are input that the militants are hiding in different locations and targeting the defense forces deployed over here. You can see the army troops right outside this the army camp, army unit area where the militants have entered and started targeting the troops. Militant today morning at around 5 first target the sentry on the gate and then lobbed a grenade on the sentry who was deployed over there. And you can you can hear firing once again started here, and now we need to go inside because militants are using the UBGL grenade on the army because the army have cordoned off that area and heavy firing from both sides is going on here in the Nagrota side. 2 to 3 security forces personnel have been injured during that firing. We can hear the sound of a heavy weaponry being used against the militant. Even militants are using the UBGL grenade. Heavy shelling is still going on outside this area in Nagrota, and army troops are trying to neutralize these militants as soon as possible, those who are hiding in the concrete building in Nagrota. With Neeraj Kumar, Ajay Jandiyal, NewsX, Nagrota.
And some news that's just coming in. Let's take a listen into the SP of Jammu and Kashmir, Sanjay Rana, speaking on the situation that unfolds in front of us this morning.
24 घंटे 365 दिन अलर्ट पे होते हैं, हाई अलर्ट पे होते हैं तो जहाँ तक नगरोटा का आज सुबह सुनने में आया एक कोई अटैक हुआ है, आर्मी के साथ वहाँ पे एनकाउंटर चल रहा है, उसके मद्देनजर हमने कटर टाउन की सुरक्षा को टाइट किया हुआ है। जो आने जाने वाले रास्ते हैं उन पर सख्त से सख्त चेकिंग हो रही है। नहीं, जहाँ तक सुविधा की बात है वो तो जाहिर सी बात है, थोड़ा बहुत तो कॉर्पोरेट जनता ने भी करना चाहिए। बाकी यात्रा पे इसका उतना असर देखने में ना आया है और ना ही आएगा इसमें। नहीं, जो कटरा और भवन का जो ट्रैक का मसला, वहाँ पे अपनी जो डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुलिस और सीआरपीएफ के हैं वो जगह जगह पे उनके नाके लगे हैं, तैनात हैं, हर आने जाने वाले पे कड़ी नजर रखी जाती है। तो आर्मी का उसमें ऐसा कोई नहीं है ट्रैक। नहीं, जहाँ तक सुरक्षा की बात है लोगों की, यहाँ के लोकल्स या आने जाने वालों का, ऐसा कुछ नहीं, घबराने वाली ऐसी कोई बात नहीं है। तो हमारी जो ये डिस्ट्रिक्ट पुलिस है, सीआरपीएफ, यहाँ पे आर्मी जितनी भी डिप्लॉयड फोर्सेज हैं वो हर चुनौती से निपटने के लिए तैयार है। हाँ, जाहिर सी बात है, जब भी कहीं पे ऐसा कोई इंसिडेंट होता है तो हर जगह पे जो हमारे एस्टेब्लिशमेंट होते हैं, इंस्टॉलेशन होते हैं, तो वहाँ पे सुरक्षा जो होता है थोड़ा उनको और बढ़ाया जाता है।
All right, we were listening to Sanjay Rana, the SP Jammu and Kashmir, saying that the police is on high alert and checking is being done on all neighbouring towns adjoining the areas of these two specific areas that came under attack. Commodore G.J. Singh is also with us, as well as General G.D. Bakshi with their perspective on the situation that continues to unfold. Commodore G.J. Singh, we've been speaking to you all of this morning. What's your assessment and the fact that at least where Chamliyal sector is concerned in Samba area, the operation is over, search operations they continue, and the other one is Nagrota. Do you believe this could be a concerted, a coordinated strike, or are these completely different individual events taking place coincidentally at the same time?
You see, they are all coordinated. They are all well thought of, well studied, moves, attacks, terrorists being sent into India. You see, how I look at this now is that first of all, Pakistani, these tourists, the terrorists and these attacks have come on to a high value target, because cantonment in Nagrota also houses the core headquarters. The core headquarters means that it's a very high value office, very high value asset of Indian Army. So therefore, attacking this particular target means that they are probably trying to create waves now or instill terror and dread in the officers and jawans of the Indian Army, because incidentally, if you connect up, the attack was focused more on mass area. So this is one aspect. The other aspect is that the Pakistan's recent reports which have emerged from their press media, and we have seen it in Indian media also, that the Pakistan Foreign Affairs advisor to Nawaz Sharif, Sartaj Aziz, has constituted two committees. One committee is aiming to highlight the Kashmir issue globally, internationally. The other committee is trying to woo the segments of the Indian public who are opposed to the policies of this government.
This only exposes the devious plans, you're saying, sir. This exposes the devious plans of Pakistan vis-a-vis, of course, the instability and Kashmir. I'm just coming back to you. So just give me a moment. Just give me a moment. I'm coming back to you, Commodore G.J. Singh, because my colleague Meghna also has further inputs on what we are tracking. We want to elaborate further on the situation that continues to unfold. I'm just coming back to you, sir. Meghna, go ahead.
Well, in fact, Akshay, what we are trying to get you is an overview of the entire area. We'll just try and pull up this for you. Well, there you have it. In fact, on your screens, what you have here is the headquarters of the 16 Corps, and the generals, of course, have been explaining to you as to how significant it is. As you can see, it's a massive military formation, and this is the highway, and on either sides of it, you have a massive establishment which has been set up, the headquarters of Army 16 Corps. Now, this is the area along which the terrorists had come in, and then they had started at about 5:30 a.m. in the morning. They started throwing grenades as well as open fire. Now, what rather is very disturbing is the fact that there are army schools around there. Now, there is an army school. We're going to get you a clearer idea of where the army schools are. Further down this road is where the army schools are there as well. And if you go out, there is another Sainik school, which is roughly in this area. So you have Sainik school as well as an army school very close to the area, which is why, of course, both of them have been closed, shut down immediately. But at least we can get an idea of what really would have happened if this terror attack had not been foiled the manner it was.
Right, Meghna, thanks very much indeed for taking us through the geographics of this area. Commodore G.J. Singh, go ahead, sir. Finish your point you were making.
So therefore, what I was trying to bring in here is that we have to connect up. If you connect up these reports with this present, current terrorist attack,
Yes.
how I look at is this, that the Pakistan is trying to build up a perception internationally. It is trying to create and build up an impression globally that the trouble which is taking place in the valley and now which has now shifted its focus to south of Kashmir, that is the Jammu area, is the internal matter of India. It is the struggle, freedom struggle of the Kashmiris in Kashmir.
Well, Commodore G.J. Singh, you will agree, we in India are not interested in what Pakistan wants to highlight, because we know what the realities really are. Time and again, Pakistan has been exposed when it comes to these terror attacks. Enough evidence available on numerous occasions when it comes to Pakistan. Isn't that right, Commodore G.J. Singh? General Bakshi, you also want to come and make a point on these situations unfold, but more significantly, General Bakshi, if you can throw some more light on how we are tracking the timing of these twin strikes. You know, we have Sartaj Aziz coming to India in early December for the Heart of Asia conference. We have the new Pakistani chief that's taking over, and we understand, General Bakshi, in Pakistan, it's not about the individual, it's about the institution, and the institution of army, which will not change its agenda vis-a-vis India.
The fact of the matter is that a hostility to India is being thoroughly institutionalized in the Pakistan army. The fact of the matter is any change of faces, any change of guard in the Pakistan army is not going to change their policy of hostility, their policy of trying to seek revenge, their policy of trying to destabilize J&K. Now let's come to the present day. Today is the day that General Rahil Sharif retires.
Yes.
He goes home, and it looks like that he wants to paint the sky red before, that his sun sets, and therefore he has tried. At least the military ISI complex has unleashed a very ambitious attack, a very dangerous attack on a corps headquarters, a key nerve center of the Indian army, south of the Pir Panjal.
Right.
This is a serious escalation. It is just that our boys have been quite alert, very vigilant, and they have been able to thwart this attempt.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, it could have been extremely serious. The message that is being sent is one of institutional continuity.
Right.
That the policy of hostility will continue.
Well, that was also made very evident, General Bakshi, by the Defence Minister of Pakistan, who said that the policy and the attitude of the army under General Rahil Sharif will continue even if there was a new chief that had to be installed, and that came in from none other than the Defence Minister of Pakistan. I want to quickly focus, and Commodore G.J. Singh, if we can focus on this, looking at the kind of heightened militant activity, the violation, the ceasefire violation that continue from Pakistani side, looking at how our jawans are being mutilated, civilians have been injured in the last 2 months. Commodore G.J. Singh, does it make sense to give this platform to Pakistan, even though Heart of Asia is a seminar, is a conclave on Afghanistan? Should Sartaj Aziz be actually coming to India? Who knows? How will he use our soil vis-a-vis his own agendas? Commodore G.J. Singh.
You see, one thing is very clear. Sartaj Aziz is going to use this forum to, rack up and the Kashmir issue again. He's going to rack it up again. He's going to speak on Kashmir in this 40 countries where the 40 countries are representing.
Absolutely.
He is going to take this stage and highlight the Kashmir issue again, because they basically wants to tell the world that we are for peace. They are, there's a deception involved here. On one hand, they are saying that we want peace with India. We want peace with India. We want unconditional dialogue with India. We want to resolve all problems with Kashmir or with India.
Okay.
Negotiate.
Commodore G.J. Singh, just give me a moment, sir, because we are tracking the other story that also develops side by side. We have ruckus there in the Rajya Sabha and the Parliament once again. Perhaps it seems over the issue of these terror strikes. We're going to try and dip in live and try and see if our netas have a minute to actually talk about what's really happening at the borders with our jawans and this constant provocation coming in from Pakistan. Let's try and just dip in to understand if they even want to talk about such an important issue of national security.
What is the benefit of, why are you doing it like this? Mr. Muhammad Ali Khan, Muhammad Ali Khan, why are you doing this? House is adjourned up to 12:00. 12:00.
All right, Rajya Sabha adjourned up until 12 noon this afternoon. So is the case with Lok Sabha. It's extremely tragic to see how our netas have time to, of course, politicize the issue of demonetization while they continue to seek Prime Minister's apology, but not a minute to actually discuss such an important, crucial issue of national security, where we're seeing not one but two terror strikes there that have come in at the international border in Samba sector as well as in Nagrota in Kashmir. Okay, I'm going to try and go across to our guests once again, General G.D. Bakshi as well as Commodore G.J. Singh, over the situation that continues to unfold. Commodore G.J. Singh, we were of course discussing the situation as we speak and the presence of Sartaj Aziz over the issue of Heart of Asia. But meanwhile, look at this, sir. It's so unfortunate that even on a day when we've had two terror strikes, our netas in the parliament don't have a minute to actually discuss that, but continue with the agenda of demonetization. Commodore G.J. Singh.
You see, it is very unfortunate that our political class does not have the world view of the national integrity and national security. They are guided by their own parochial party interests. They are not interested. In fact, they don't have any sense of the border, the long border that we have got with Pakistan and with China. They are not probably cognizant of the fact that there is somebody who is defending that border, which is giving them the opportunity to do what they are doing here in Delhi. You see, these people, they probably needs to be educated, counseled as to how the country's defense is established. They do not know their shorelines. They do not know that India extends up to Car Nicobar and further to islands which are just about 100 miles, 100 nautical miles from the Burma and from Indonesia border. I mean, overall perception is not there. They do not have what you call an horizon where they could see things differently. They are only interested in their party politics, in their party thing, very parochial, very limited. So I think this is a perpetual problem in our system of establishment, democratic establishment, and it is only very few people who seems to understand the overall strategy, overall problem that the defense services face of defending this border, holding this border, because what is happening is that they don't understand that it is only the army
but if
which
Commander
holds
Singh, can you hear
the
me?
border. It does not.
If my audio is going through, I was asking you a question. What should be the reply that India should give? Because you see, Commodore G.J. Singh, after the surgical strike as well, what changed on ground? We only saw desperate provocations that continued in larger numbers. We saw how they started attacking civilians as well. In your view, what more needs to be done to try and contain this hostility from Pakistan?
You see, unless and until we start acting like a single body, like a absolute one, a singular, wholesome body. You see, what is happening at the moment is that one department of the Indian government, which is the right arm of the government, that is the army, is giving heavy retribution to Pakistan's army, fighting on the border. On the other side, the left arm is working in the reverse order, that it is issuing visas, it is calling Sartaj Aziz It is, have established diplomatic relations with Pakistan. Their embassy is busy in carrying out the espionage activities.
Absolutely.
Our embassy is issuing all kinds of visas to, Aman Ki Asha Brigade, and you see these people, actors of Ye Dil Hai Mushkil and ghazal singers, and trade is booming. So what is happening overall? You see, are we united, unified as one absolute unit? Singularly, we have to fight it.
Singularly, we have to fight it. Okay, that's your recommendation. Otherwise, dealing with this hostile neighbor will be very difficult. Okay, point taken, Comrade G. Singh. Stay with us, sir. I want to bring in our colleague, Priya Sehgal, Executive Affairs Editor, Executive Senior Editor, I beg your pardon, also joining us from the Vijay Chowk. Well, good morning, Priya. We're speaking of two twin terror strikes in Jammu and Kashmir today. We just saw what happened in the parliament. Both houses have been adjourned this morning. And the point to be noted is our politicians, our netas, MPs didn't have a minute to discuss the situation on ground, Priya. They continued with the issue of demonetization, with the demands of a Prime Minister's apology. We wonder, on a day when our national security was under threat, why couldn't a minute be spared, Priya, in the parliament to discuss this situation?
Exactly, Akshay. We've seen this, parliamentary politics, this one-upmanship always takes the higher ground rather than, something that is happening like this. This is really shameful, and this is something that easily politicians cutting across party lines could have come to some sort of a agreement on and raise this issue. So I'm also pretty surprised, and a lot of people are talking about this also. The fact is that there is a provision. A speaker can easily call an all-party meeting. The heads of each party can get together and say, let's put aside our politics of demonetization for a bit and speak about the larger issues at stake. Even during the train accident, Akshay, that happened a week ago, or 3-4 days ago, same thing. They've mourned the death, they spoke a bit about the train accident, but again, demonetization really took the front seat, with, the Congress saying, what about mourning those who died during demonetization? So once again, whether it's a natural calamity, whether it's an attack on our country, petty politics seems to be taking the stage, which is really sad.
Absolutely. Petty politics seem to be taking the center stage, which is extremely unfortunate. General Bakshi, if our audio is now Pashu and Ifin, you hear me, sir. Your thoughts on what we are discussing over how our netas have no time really to talk about the situation when it comes to national security today?
The fact of the matter is that we have to now accept that certain things, a certain degree of heat along the LC will be the new normal. The surgical strike was just a warning shot that things would not be the same on the LC, that we would not have a one-way traffic, that Pakistan could choose when, where and what target to strike along the LC. And all that we could do was to do consequence management on one side of the border and grin and bear it. That is all history. The second thing is, we must understand that Pakistan has chosen an army chief from among 3 corps commanders. One was the corps commander of the Multan Army Reserve North,
Pakistani Strike Corps. The second was the corps commander of the 31 Corps at Bawalpur in the semi-desert terrain. And the third was the corps commander of 10 Corps in Jammu and Kashmir. Pakistan, from the point of view of operational expertise and experience, has chosen the 10 Corps commander, the J&K commander of their armed forces, to become the army chief. That very clearly shows that in the Pakistani operational calculus, they feel that the conflict with India will remain confined to Jammu and Kashmir.
Right.
So that is a very, very important observation about the Pakistani mindset and perception. Well, Pakistan could get surprised. If it needles us across the IB, I don't see any reason why the conflict should remain confined to J&K. I think Pakistan may then, have a change of, regret its choice. But the fact of the matter is that General Bajwa is taking over today.
Yes.
And whether he wanted to open with a grand strike on the Nagrota Corps, it's quite possible. Or General Rahil Sharif wanted to go in a blaze of glory because he's a self-confessed Napoleon.
Right.
And that is the thing to be decided.
That is what we are trying to look at. as to what exactly are Pakistani motivations.
Okay, well, the fact really being whoever takes over or exists, General Bakshi will agree that India, of course, has to be on alert because none of these chiefs or perhaps the civilian establishment can be trusted because time and again, even though India has inched towards inched towards friendship with Pakistan, we've seen how we have been backstabbed. And yet again, if there is a change in the ranks, as we see in the army, we understand, like you've just pointed out, that the conduct and the agenda of this Pakistani army is just not going to change. Priya, stay with us. Commodore G.J. Singh, coming back to you as we continue to speak of the situation that unfolds in front of us. Sir, do you believe, like General Bakshi was pointing out, if Pakistan continues to needle India at the international border, it's time that India also gives it a befitting reply, not just at the LC, but also, if need be, at the international border. Can that be a possibility of trying to teach Pakistan a lesson? And should we take that route after all? Commodore G.J. Singh.
You see, no matter how heavy retribution we get to Pakistan, Pakistan, first of all, is going to be rigid. It is going to have the same brazen, callous attitude towards India. Its army, which occupy the center stage, is going to call shots. But you see, what I want to bring out the point is that Pakistan is now, raising its diplomatic offensive against India. As I was talking about the two, committees which have been formed by Sartaj Aziz, the one is to highlight the, Kashmir issue globally, and at the same time, they also want to woo those Indians who are, anti to the government's policies, what the Pakistan terms it as extremist policies of Modi government. So they are now flexing their muscle in the direction that they want to dislodge us diplomatically across the world on all forms. So therefore, how I'm looking at it is little different. On one hand, Pakistan is advocating that we are for unconditional talks and dialogue with India, and we want peace, we want good neighborly relations. On the other side, they are trapping us with these kinds of provocations on the border, as well as attacks on high-value targets like what they have done on...
But Commodore G.J. Singh, you would agree, no matter how hard Pakistan tries, Prime Minister Modi has trumped. Prime Minister Modi has trumped. India has trumped Pakistan when exposing the country is concerned internationally. We've seen the kind of support he got at the UNSC. We saw the support he got at G20. We pulled out of the SARC. We embarrassed Pakistan, both, be it at least militarily or perhaps diplomatically as well. In the last 3 months, we've seen it all, where Pakistan completely stands exposed. Very briefly, Priya, if I can come to you. What is the buzz doing the rounds among political circles with Sartaj Aziz coming to town? Looking at what really has happened in the past few days, we've had six terror strikes, Priya, in the last 1 week itself. 7 terrorists have been killed in the last 1 week. Should Sartaj Aziz actually come to India? What are your sources telling you? Is India okay with this development, or do they want to bring him here and embarrass him further when he comes here and expose the brutalities of Pakistan? Priya.
See, Akshay, there's already been some opposition to his visit. People have voiced their opposition even before the attack today. There have been voices saying that, resenting his visit, saying that India should take a stand against it. But having said that, these are issues that really have to be taken into account by, it's not just domestic politics, but there are larger pictures at play over here. There has to be foreign compulsions. There are reasons, as to when he comes, what kind of a message can we send also through him. So those are really the issues that are being resolved right now, especially in the line of today's attack. That is something that won't be decided off the cuff. That is something the Prime Minister will be talking to.
Well, Priya,